Welcome guys. Welcome to Daily Crypto Trading. Today we're going to do a TA of MultiVAC. Let's jump straight into TA of MultiVAC, guys. Today I will not make an edit wave count or different formation. As you guys know, I usually do the short term, the long term, and so on. We are mainly focused on one thing only, and that is Wyckoff theory. If you are a holder of MultiVAC or just new to MultiVAC, you guys will love what I have to say about it. So guys, watch the whole thing. You cannot draw a conclusion based on 1 to 2 minute video time. When I do long-term investing and I believe in a project, I always 90.9% use the Wyckoff theory, the accumulation and the distribution schematic. And you guys might have seen something similar mid-May when people were using this Wyckoff accumulation or distribution schematic on Bitcoin. So this schematic is more than 100 years old and can be used on commodity, can use about asset, stocks, crypto, and so on. The question is now, can we also adjust it or use this schematic on MultiVAC? Well, the short answer is yes, we can. These patterns show us pretty much where the big players sell their crypto or their asset and where they reaccumulate, buy back before the retail investors begin to FOMO in, begin to put money in, right? So we follow the trend, we follow the smart investors. And I'm going to show you step by step where we are at oversold area, where we are overbought area. I used this so many times in 6 years. I used this on Solana. I used this on Cardano. I had video on Cardano 3 years ago when people were running away. I actually used this schematic and earned a 100x with Cardano. So I'm going to show you exactly the same thing what I did. I'm going to show you for step to step what these patterns or how these patterns can be used on MultiVAC. Before we do that, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button, like button, comment anything you like, join our free Telegram, guys. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for making this community great. So as mentioned, guys, Wyckoff is nothing more than to show us where the supply are, where the liquidity are, where the sellers are, and where the buyers are, alright? So what we see here at the moment is the distribution schematic, as you guys see from the Wyckoff, and it's just perfectly taken from the textbook and showing what is going on. Even though this is a small market cap, there are still big players on MultiVAC. Do not get yourself fooled, alright? They will buy on this. Remember, this is a layer 1 solution. So in the long term, in my opinion, this looks like a great opportunity to buy. Now, if you look at I'm not going to all of the detail because I have a lot of schematics to show you guys. But if you look just right here, we see what we see at a UT or UTAD, which is the upthrust after a distribution, which I can't even pronounce at the moment. But that means people are just selling the supply off, right? There are more supply than the demand, which usually means there will be sell-off. And then we see what we call a LPSY, which stands for last point of supply, all right? And then we just last point of supply, so you guys said perfectly. And then we go over to something we call SOW or SOW, which stands for sign of weakness, all right? We now see a weak support area, which we call a demand zone right here in the liquidity demand zone. It's not that strong and just go through it, right? And now we are seeing the last leg. We might see a one more up leg before we see a continuation for a downtrend. Now, you might say, well, that is a bad thing. Well, that is not a bad thing because after a distribution schematic, well, then an accumulation schematic comes, right? Now the smart money will enter, but I'm going to show you a different schematic, guys, because they are different. There is something called redistribution. We have to be careful about that. I still can't say the word, but you guys get the point. If you just look at the accumulation schematic, guys, this is what I was talking about. Now the smart money invest in it. Now the smart money enter, all right? This is where there's blood on the street. People don't believe in the project and so on. We still have not reached that yet. So I do believe this might be a redistribution area, a pattern. I will comment or show you guys that later on. But if we just focus on the accumulation, the most basic thing. So we saw the distribution pattern, which I still can't pronounce apparently. And now we are looking at the accumulation schematic, all right? So the accumulation schematic show us actually the last point of support and so on, where before it's into a long consolidation where it's just going sideways or down and so on, where this is where people get shaken off, right? Before we see more movement to the upside. these areas we also call, like I said, accumulation area and distribution area, which I still can't pronounce. That is just annoying me now. But if we look at this picture right there, the Wyckoff price cycle, we can see the oversold area and the overbought area taking from the textbook. All right, but let me remind you guys, these kind of schematics are more than 100 years old and they still apply today because of the human emotion and human psychology and so on. And let's just draw this, guys. So remember, below right there is the oversold area when the demand is greater than supply, when there's a lot of demand, right? When a lot of people want MultiVAC, when it's hype, when people are building DApps on it, when, you know, we have a proper bull run and so on. This area where the smart money, the big players are saying, you know what, I have enough money now, enough liquidity, the last point of supply, remember that area, guys? I'm going to sell slowly, not all at once, because then it will just tank, but slowly sold off around 20%, 10%, and then sell everything off till we get actually the below again to the oversold area. This is what we when the supply is greater than demand, when there's a lot of supply and the demand weakness, as I just told you guys before. So let's just draw this so you guys can see it and you will understand it a lot better. So if we just draw it right, just let's zoom something like this, right? So as you guys seeing right now, do you guys see? You know what? Let me just show you something different instead. Show you something different. All right. So if you guys see oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. Now we're getting to what? And you guessed it, probably an oversold area. All right. Before we go to the overbought area. All right. So we can just go like this, draw like this. I know, guys, this is not the most beautiful drawing you ever saw, but you understand the point. All right. So this is area we call the overbought area. All right. This area we call the oversold. This area we call the overbought area. Remember, this is pure TA, guys. This is a free TA. I'm telling you, a lot of analysts will not show you this. So this oversold area. Now, this is where we are at, guys. We are soon at oversold area. I don't believe we are there fully yet, but we will be there soon enough. Maybe a month, maybe two, maybe less. Time will tell. We need more market structure. Anyway, if you go back, guys, do you see the point? Do you see? Look at this area, right? Oversold area, right? Let's do something like this. Yeah, a lot better. All right, there you guys see the oversold area right here, the overbought area right here, the oversold. This is the market cycle. This is what the Wyckoff are telling us, the Wyckoff price cycle. All right, the price action where we move. Now, it's not perfect, but usually the human emotion and so on is like this, especially in a bull run. We see this kind of price action movement, guys. All right, especially from the bigger players. They don't have to be institution. They can just be people with trading experience and with a lot of money who are playing other retail investors. Now, I'm showing this all for free so you understand the fundamentals of trading, guys. This is usually what happened. That's what Wyckoff are telling us. Remember, again, more than 100 years old schematics are happening again today. So at the moment, if you look at MultiVAC, we are in an oversold area, guys. All right. That is when the supply is greater than demand. There's not a lot of demand because there's a lot of fear, you guys know, because Bitcoin tanks, it draw all the market down with it, or drag all the market down with it, right? All the altcoins and so on. That is a lot of fear, so the demand doesn't exist. There's a lot of stablecoin at the side at the moment, just waiting to go into the market before we see a proper bull run yet again. All right, so keep this in mind, guys. So this area when we had a proper bull run, when there was suddenly a lot of demand for MultiVAC and there was less supply, right? Then we saw a price spike, we saw a lot of volume, and then we have this distribution area, overbought area, before we saw a drop down yet again, guys. This is the big players doing this. This is the bots doing them in their strategy and so on. I'm going to show you 3 schematic more, so 3 possibilities where we might go, where we might end. All right. The first possibility, or the first schematic, as you guys seeing here, I was talking about the redistribution pattern. All right. So here we had the accumulation, we had the reaccumulation right here. If you guys are seeing, we had a big distribution area right there, and now I was talking about the accumulation area. Now this might actually be a redistribution area as I was talking about, right? However, we need more market structure to confirm this, because at the moment the market is uncertain. Bitcoin are not even going consolidating, is actually going on a downtrend. So before Bitcoin make a move, we have no idea where we might go. So we might, it might look like an accumulation, but then right after that we will have a leg down before we actually go to a true accumulation area. But we need more market structure to have a confirmation. The second possibility, which is my favorite possibility, or schematic, if something like this happened, the accumulation area already start right over here. So I actually used this pattern on Axie Infinity when it was, I believe, $8 to $12. You guys can check the price for yourself. We had exactly a similarity right over here. So my hope is that we see something like this, but I don't want to hope, right? I don't want to give hopium. I need more market structure before we also can confirm this. But if we get these kind of things, right, where we have an accumulation zone right here, we see some Greek, we see some support resistance like demand zone, a supply zone, and then we see the last point of support, right? And then we have a leg to the upside. That means we have been accumulating at these levels, all right, before we see a bigger move to the upside, guys. Something like this, right? Where we see maybe it goes fake out, maybe we do a spring. This is called a spring. Move up, do a Greek, and then we see a bigger move to the upside. Of course, it will not go straight line. It will most likely do something like this, right? Something like that. And the last schematic I'm going to show you guys, I promise you, these will be the last one before I bump you guys with all these information. So like I said, guys, the only thing we need at the moment is more market structure. We need to see where Bitcoin are, because we are in an uncertain area at the moment. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear in the market at the moment. Remember, we buy the fear, but we also need to buy carefully and cautiously. We don't just buy an all in. We DCA walk down. So at the moment, we need to see, are we in a continuation downtrend, right? Are we in the redistribution area, or are we in accumulation area? So we need more market structure. Nevertheless, guys, MultiVAC is a great layer 1 project in my opinion in the long run. We just need that sweet spot of accumulation area, and we need, like I said before, a proper market structure before we can enter some money and liquidity in it or DCA way down. If we just have a peek on MultiVAC's Twitter profile, they announced they will do a hackathon with deep post and their 2 million plus deep community. This is huge, guys. All right. Now they will mainly focus on gamify because that's hot at the moment. So they of course just riding the trend at the moment, which is of course a smart idea in a PR and a marketing. That is what you want. You want to ride the trend pretty much. But the only thing that is holding us back at the moment is the Bitcoin price and the traditional market at the moment, as I've been talking about. All right, so in my opinion, like I said, MultiVAC is a great project. I'm looking forward to see what they will be built on MultiVAC. Remember, guys, time appreciation. All right, it will take time before we see great gains. If the bull run continues, it can take months, days, and so on. But remember, guys, I am not your financial advisor. Always do your own due diligence or you might get wrecked. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like or enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment anything you like, join our free Telegram group, guys, and of course, as always, see you in the Telegram group.